Okay, I have two competing ideas. One of them is that you can do anything at any point in your life. You can become who you want to be. You can start any career, really at any time. And the other thing is that if you don't do something by age 30, you'll never be able to do it for the rest of your life. That I believed forever, except for the fact that it's been disproven by things I've been able to do and learn after 30. As an experiment, I tried yesterday to do a 1-minute synopsis of my life. Like, what are the high points of it? And I couldn't really do it in 1 minute. I timed it. It came out like a minute 4, minute 5. I was going to try to do it as a short, but I'm 62. So there's a lot of little things that I think are important that really define who I am. And for people watching this channel, they may not know these things about me. I'm from a family of 7. I'm from Rochester, New York, small town called Fairport. My parents treated us all equally. I love all my brothers and sisters. And I've had every hair and facial hair configuration known to man. When I was 14, I broke my ankle and I started playing the guitar during the summer of that year, right before 9th grade. That was a pivotal thing. Before that, I was a bad student. After that, I was a bad student. I was always a bad student. When I was 18, I auditioned at 2 music schools and did not get into either of them. So I went as a history major to one of the schools, Fredonia State University, and soon after, meaning the next semester in 1980, I re-auditioned at Ithaca College and I got in as a guitar major. When I was 22, I went to grad school in Boston at New England Conservatory. And at age 25, I got a job teaching back at the school that I didn't get into the first time, Ithaca College, as a professor teaching jazz studies. Now, I did that until I was 28 when I wrote my first song with a friend of mine. So I never wrote a song really until I was 28 years old. At age 30, I quit my college teaching job because I got signed to a publishing deal with Polygram Publishing out of New York City. 2 years later, I was so broke I had to move back home with my parents. That was a humiliating thing, but incredibly instructive. But I knew that I wasn't going to stay there for long. I was going to make enough money so that I could move somewhere and start another band. So 6 months later, at 32, so in 1994, I traveled all over the United States and Europe with just a few $100s, trying to find a city to move to make it in a band. This included Chicago, Denver, Nashville, Chapel Hill, London, Amsterdam, and randomly ended up here in Atlanta, where I am now. During that year, I bussed tables at the University of Denver. This is after I was a college professor. I bartended on a boat in New York City, where I made margaritas for Jimmy Buffett. I worked at Blockbuster Music here in Atlanta wearing that blue polyester shirt. And then I taught 12,000 lessons over 5 years at a local music store. At age 35, I started my first band. At age 36, we got signed, and at age 37, we got dropped. That's the year that I started producing. I didn't know anything about how any of this gear worked. None of these things. But I know every piece of gear in this place. All of these. The mic pre's, the compressors, the EQs. I learned it all from reading magazines at a Barnes & Noble and asking questions to people that knew more than I did. I also learned how all this stuff works. How to tune it, how to mic it, and how to make it sound great. At age 41, I had my first platinum record as a producer. At 44, I married my wife Nina. At 45, we had our son Dylan. At 47, we had our daughter Lennon. And when I was 51, we had our youngest daughter Layla. Happened to be the same year, 2013, that I had my first #1 song as a writer. At age 54, I started this YouTube channel, having never posted on social media before that year. Now I'm 62. This channel has over 4 million followers. My Instagram has over 1 million. And I've rethought my one premise of you need to do things before you're 30 because that's when you're able to really learn. Because when I was 54, I started on YouTube, and YouTube didn't even start till 2006, but people didn't even have music YouTube channels till about 2010 or so. The thing that I'm doing now didn't even exist. I had never owned a camera. I didn't know how to edit video. I didn't know anything about social media, about how to post things. I didn't understand any of these platforms. I was an old guy, but I was able to learn it because the most important thing that I had no idea that I was pretty good at, I think, is telling stories. Now, I could play all these different genres of music. I'm an expert in classical music. I'm an expert in jazz. I'm an expert in rock and pop music. I know how to engineer. I know how to mix. I know all the gear in the control room. I understand all of that. But the ability to tell a story is something that I had no idea of, and I think I'm starting to get good at it. So the idea that you have to do things when you're young is not true. I could start this channel again now at 62 from scratch, and I still think I would be successful at it. It would be more difficult because it takes a lot of energy, and I'm glad I did it when I was 54, but it can be done, and you could do it too if you're willing to work hard enough. Love to know your thoughts. Leave a comment. Thanks for watching.